2025, and this year it is time to get satisfying. That's right, we're gonna be making some satisfying renders for all of you today, but let's talk about some grand rules first. Grand rules. We're gonna be making 5 renders, and at the end of this week, we're gonna show each other what we made.
In the comments, you get to decide which one satisfied you the most. Wait, what are the rules? They have to loop?
Should that be an actual rule? I'm gonna make my thing loop.
Yeah, you're right. A satisfying render isn't satisfying unless it loops. You want it to be seamless and buttery.
Absolutely.
Right when it finishes, it starts again and you're like, oh, your heart flutters. Oh.
It's like a meal at the hometown buffet. When you're done, the plate is full again.
It has to make me feel like I'm getting lathered, you know, with some satisfaction. I feel like, you know, like that. I feel like I want to be lathered. Yeah, that's how I want to feel when I see a satisfying render, you know?
You want something visually that stimulates you and creates a sensation within you that you were not expecting, you know? Yes, we're looking at a couple pixels on a screen, but the sensation is gonna go deeper than that, reminding us of some of our favorite moments of life.
I've done a bunch of satisfying renders at this point, but I've only ever succeeded truly once. And there is a perspective I had on that I really need to replicate, and that's thinking of the sound design first. I don't know about you guys, but I am specifically trying to find satisfying sounds and building something around that.
I have a little world I'd like to build out, you know? Something very simple, but there's a dense world.
Just a collection of penguins that are so just tangibly slappable.
Stop that. Don't even go down that road.
Slappable. Look, I've branched out a little bit. Okay, I've gone down some weird alleyways. And I'm looking to pare back this time. Simple shapes, pretty colors, satisfying sounds.
I feel like satisfaction is additive. I might just try to combine every satisfying thing I can think of into one big, you know? Because we know that's how satisfaction works, right? You just keep piling it on and you get more satisfied.
I think I might do the first live action satisfying render.
What? Does that count? Hold
that
up.
you just like walk through a space and everything just, the world perfectly moves around you, one step ahead of whatever's happening. I don't know if it's gonna work out.
Inside of our computers, there's a perfect symmetry, a perfect order that can be created. We can all escape from the chaos of the universe.
Well, guys, we now have the rest of this week to make something, and on Friday, we're going to show each other how satisfied we can really get.
Ooh,
Satisfied!
Sorry, I didn't realize you were gonna say that.
Never satisfying.
So the point of the renders is to be better than that.
Okay, good bar.
Easy.
Good bar to set.
Basically, I realized that magnets make very satisfying noises whenever they snap together, like. Oh, that's a good sound. And I'm trying to replicate that in the render here. So this is my first animation test, and this is completely hand animated. I already settled on a look. I have the material for the magnets and the material for the ground. It's the corkboard material from Grayscale Gorilla, the tactile materials they have. So this is kind of where I ended up landing. A stack of magnets, vertical like this. Hold up, I wanna see if this works. Ah! So I ended up doing a dynamic simulation, rigid body of these magnets flying in. I basically threw them until they roughly landed where I needed them to, and then I baked out that animation, and then I basically added a transform constraint, and the transform constraint basically makes it so that whatever the other animation has, it will stick to wherever that is, and you can slide it from 0 to 100%. So it hits, starts trying to go away, but gets sucked back, like magnetic attraction. That's the idea, and I think I actually kind of succeeded there. So this is essentially the loop. So it's like, so I'm putting a lot of effort into making sure that like the visuals look good while trying to be as efficient as possible, because I need to preserve enough time for the sound design, because I've realized that that is going to be the absolute key, the critical key to making this the most satisfying. So to do that, I'm gonna take all these different magnets that I've got, I'm gonna take a microphone, and I'm going to try to just make some sounds that are satisfying, chop it all up together, and then present it all to you guys.
Oh, that was a good one.
This will never not be satisfying, but you know what is also satisfying? Today's sponsor, Storyblocks, where you can literally have all kinds of different B-roll to satisfactorily demonstrate the point. I have literally been using Storyblocks myself for like 7 years now. Pretty much anytime I'm making something and I need to visualize a point and I don't have time or the ability or the access to go shoot the thing, Storyblocks is literally the first place I go to check. Do they have this footage? And more often than not, they do. A couple walking by the beach because the sea levels are rising and they're gonna get washed out, but they don't know it yet. They're still having a good time. Let's say you don't know how to fly a drone, but you need a drone shot. Well, they got plenty of drone shots there. The reason why I really like Storyblocks is because you get unlimited downloads with licenses that go forever, 4K high quality videos. Like I said, unlimited downloads. You can just, literally when I'm starting a project, I will go through and download hundreds of video clips that I think I might need for that project. And that's all covered under my one single subscription. That goes beyond just B-roll and stuff. There's After Effects templates, motion graphics templates, all kinds of presets like that. They even have a vast sound effect library if you need any of that. They have over 700 artists that they're working with to supply their library. We literally use Storyblocks all the time on the React show, on the crew videos. I've used them in my personal projects. We use them all the time. So if you want more satisfaction in your editing workflow, head to storyblocks.com/corridorcrew or just click that link in the description. It'll be so satisfying. Clickety-clack. Now to finish my sound design. Oh God, no, I broke that one too!
What? You broke it?
Oh boy. So yeah, simple ideas that lead to very complex situations. Here's the idea. The concept is, all right, I'm just gonna hold a camera and I'm gonna like play basically hopscotch along some bricks, and I'm gonna have them like fall away and reveal like little pedestals, and I'm gonna be hopping across them. Huge problem. Okay, I'm standing in this area and the bricks fall away. So hold on, are these 3D bricks? Or do they have the texture of the ground on them? Like, I'm not really sure what to do with that. And like, here's a classic technique you do when you're doing 3D VFX. You basically line up a similar object, projection map an image onto it from the perspective of the camera, and then manipulate it. And that's cool. However, when they're falling apart, pan left, I pan right. I'm panning the things that are outside the camera's field of view. So how am I gonna projection map bricks onto them? Do I do a projection map over here, and a projection map here, and here? I think I figured this out. So it's working. But I'm cheating really hard. Because right now, so this is a projection map onto the bricks that are falling, and I've lined up my virtual bricks pretty well, but you'll notice that when they start falling, the texture is not sticking to them because I'm not baking the map. That's the video that's just playing,
They're moving underneath
being
it.
projected. Yeah, exactly. So because of the shape of the bricks aligning so closely and the nice shadow that's happening there, you don't notice. I don't think anyone's gonna really see it. Honestly though, just like giving up and being like, whatever, I'm not baking the textures, like that has saved me so much like stress, and it's allowed me to actually make progress on this shot. What's gonna get very satisfying is when I'm running across bricks that just kind of like come to my feet. You know, it'll be like a floating zero gravity zone. And then honestly, the loop. I don't wanna show you how I'm gonna do the loop yet, because when you see it and actually catch how the loop is being done in this, it's gonna be kind of mind-blowing.
We got a clean slate here. Clean slate of possible satisfaction. And I want to make sure that I nail it this time. What am I gonna do? Right, keep it simple. Simple shapes, simple motion, simple loop. I work in Houdini. I like working with simulations. I like building complex machinery on the node level. Why not bring that visualization to the satisfaction level? You know, create a ball assembling machine. What is its purpose? I have no idea. What is the purpose of the cycle of life? We got made. The machine, we start with a simple ball, and that ball is rolling up and down, very similar pattern of hills. But I want that ball to be cut up into a bunch of different shapes, but always maintaining that same momentum. This ball needs to hit its mark, and it's really hard to do with simulation. So I will need to broach something that I'm not very good at, and that is hand animation. Now, lucky for me, it's a relatively simple animation. It's a ball rolling up and down a hill. But there are some elements of that animation that are actually pretty tricky to do. Why not take the best of both worlds? Combine simulation with hand animation. And so that's what I'm doing throughout this render. I'm constantly bouncing between the things that are easy to animate and doing that by hand, and taking the things that are hard to animate and doing that through simulation. This is the best example of that. That half ball, I've simulated it entirely. But the goal is for that half ball to be pushed off the top here, flip over on its back, slide up the ramp, and land almost perfectly on its tilting axis, and right on cue, land on the other half ball that's underneath it. This is the simulation that I got. But slides off, boom, everything feels good. But you'll notice, doesn't make it all the way up the ramp. It actually falls off and to the side. But I have this incredibly horrifically animated thing that I made, where I just take it the rest of the way, perfectly timed to satisfyingly clap on top of that other half ball. To me, it appears at this point in the process to be seamless. There's only one way to know for sure. Will the guys notice where the takeovers take place? If they don't, I consider that a victory.
So for my satisfying render here, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little nervous. Like before on the channel, I've done slightly offensive bowling animation videos. But here's the thing, those bowling renders, they're supposed to be bad on purpose. I started with the idea I wanted to do like a little wind-up robot toy that jumps, lands on something, and then we perfectly loop back to the beginning. I have gotten obsessed with this idea of trying to emulate traditional art with CGI, what are like colloquially called toon shaders. So here's my main dude right here. He's a little monkey robot. This is how a lighting environment looks when you render a character with physically based lighting. All of the colors of the environment, direct light source and the indirect light source, they all hit the character, shade it in the way that it would be shaded in the real world. We have to get rid of all that lighting and just operate with one single light source. Thinking about like a 60s wind-up toy, I pulled a ton of reference of pop art. Look at these, like you could look at the shading on this character right here. You basically have 3 values. You have the shadows, the midtones, and you have the highlights. And that's 3 values. So what we could do, using a little bit of math, we could take the value of this lighting and crunch it down to 3 values. You can see here, you get this really cool effect where there's 3 values. You have your highlight, your midtones, and your shadows, just like that drawing. And then I'd attribute a color to each of those values. Here, you're really thinking about the artistic fundamentals of like, what specific RGB value is the shadow, and like, what is the most pleasing color for people to look at. So kind of eventually get to this place where I'm happy. It has been like super satisfying for me working on this to kind of get lost in the creative process, but I have no idea if it's gonna be satisfying to other people. Does this actually not suck? If we get past that, I'll be pretty happy.
You know what's satisfying? Finishing my render. Wow. I'm so satisfied that it's done and you guys get to watch it. Did anyone learn anything incredibly deep about the art of satisfaction?
You know, I set out to combine a bunch of different satisfying things into one thing, and I feel like I accomplished that.
Oh boy, okay.
I have the best seat in the house. I didn't have to do any of the work. I'm just gonna sit here and watch one satisfying render after another, chime in once in a while. It's great.
Let's just get
I am truly excited to see what you've done here. This is the first time this has ever been done in the Satisfying Render Challenge.
Yeah, let's see. I want to see if your guys' CGI can beat my see in the guy.
See a guy. Oh, I like this. Whoa. This is cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wait, is that
Wow.
real guy loop? Real guy loop? Why did we start with this, Sam? This is so good. It's the slow step. It's the anticipation of the.
I went 13 miles last Tuesday trying to find a place with the right size bricks in a wide enough area for me to do this.
Oh my gosh.
Did you end up just replacing all the bricks anyway?
Well, no. So frame 1 is 100% real footage, and that transitions to roto and CGI. And at the end, it returns back to 100% real footage. So what's under my foot there was actually a projection map.
I'm too distracted by the render.
Yeah.
I didn't hear what he said. It's so cool. It's so cool, dude.
Okay, here's the question though. Where does it loop? Where's the loop point?
Well, technically the footage has to loop whenever you move away from you and you come back down.
Actually, no. The loop point happens right before I hop on the little skate brick, right there.
That's the loop point!
Yeah, I know, right?
Dude, it's hard enough to loop something, but to loop a real guy?
Yeah, bravo.
That went way better than I thought it was.
Jordan, you're up.
I'll follow. Well, here's my stupid thing. Whoa!
Dude. The factory of satisfaction. It's a satisfactory.
This is satisfactory.
You did our boy Wannerstedt proud, dude. This would.
My initial vision for this was honestly just the ball, staying a ball, and kind of just, you know, moving through something enjoyably. And then I just kept wanting to cut it into different things.
So you did a bunch of animation in Houdini?
Yeah, lots of different geometries blending together. The geometries have to be seamless, and the UVs have to be the exact same across all the different models. It ended up being way more of a technical endeavor than I anticipated.
I love how the grooves, though. I love how you have like the grooves along the path for everything on like the side of the wood, for like the little arms. It's so nice.
I could just sit here and watch this.
You know what I could sit here and watch, Dean? Your render.
This is your first satisfying render.
This is the first time.
Oh wow.
How are you feeling?
You know, I think the sound design's pretty good. It's all real sounds.
How's the render? Ooh, I like the style a lot. Ooh. That spin is very enjoyable.
Okay.
Oh, that spin is very enjoyable, Dean.
I like there's a ridge on the train to catch him.
The trains are different every time.
They are! The trains are different every time!
This is super cute.
Man, the ambiance effort here is very nice. Very commendable. Toy trains, cozy little Japanese apartment.
There's so many great details. Like literally, I didn't even notice that the trains were shifting, which is massive. I was like, oh wow, it's good. It's really short, and then wait a second, it's like, no. This is actually a whole little world here happening.
The animation of the spin and the sound accompanying it, incredible.
That's a little Diddy Kong. Little Diddy Kong.
Now you're going somewhere else
that-
with that.
If I could snap, I'd be snapping.
Oh, I'd be snapping too. This is a great first satisfying render.
Yeah, the sound is not just good, it's extremely good.
Yeah, well done.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, all right. Man, after all of those ones, I don't know anymore. Just cut my part out.
I like how the satisfying render is just you guys low-key intimidating each other with your renders.
It's not supposed to be satisfying for us.
So last time we did a render challenge, Alan joined us, like the workplace safety videos. And Alan's skin getting ripped off of a man animation was so effective, our video got demonetized and the views just went right off a cliff. Like truly, it was on its way to get like 1 million views in 1 week.
As long as it's not like a screaming corpse writhing in a pool of blood, I'm sure it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
It's everything. He did everything.
I like that.
Very good.
Hey, there we go. Okay.
The way it peels off right there is very good.
It's because I was on r/oddly satisfying, and the most upvoted post is like a gold peel where the letters are like remaining after the peel. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that.
That's a good idea.
This feels like the true synthesis of like all satisfying renders. Like they were all birthed from this.
I also love the environment, like the fireflies and
Yeah.
the grass, the leaves slowly waving in the wind. It's very nice.
And then when the cloth is coming up, how do you have it sort of like grasping at the edges? Is it just like,
So then in Houdini, you could add like a glue constraint, and you could have that occur every frame or every sub-step, and then it'll like catch on as if it's sticking. And it's like a good way to do sticky, gummy stuff. And then yeah, if you use it on cloth, then it gives it that tape feel.
This is very good.
I want to keep watching.
Yeah.
Dude, another first satisfying render. Good job, dude.
This might be the most satisfying collection of videos we've had so far.
Well, I don't know about that. There's still one more to go. All I'll say is that every single sound element you hear is never repeated, and it was recorded by me.
Wow.
Ooh,
Very nice.
I love that animation. I love that animation of the stack. Yeah. Is that hand animation?
Yeah. This is mostly just a combination of a little bit of dynamics, like simulating throwing the pieces out there, but once it got close enough, then I took over with some hand animation, so it's mostly hand animation.
This is the most pristine render I've ever seen in my life. There's not an aliased pixel.
Dude, this is 4K 60 FPS.
This is a perfect thing to throw on like a Best Buy TV.
That's pretty sweet.
Very enjoyable.
Great job. That was the render challenge for the history books. It feels like everyone really came with their best ideas and really, really great execution. So we're all kind of winners because of that.
I'm satisfied with that.
So we're all very satisfied here, and it's hard to kind of gauge who is the most satisfying. But I think the true test here is who wins in the comments of this video. Leave a comment down below saying who you think is the winner of all of the satisfying renders you saw here today.
And Alan, thank you for joining us, brother. Second render challenge with us. Check out his stuff on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, if that's still a thing. We'll see you next time.
Script sucked because we were shoehorning this technology into the Pokeball concept, and in the middle of writing it, I was just sitting there going, what, this is so silly. We could actually make a really cool Pokeball video, so let's just do that instead and make a fun video. We're gonna chat about it.
You guys hit me up literally right as I went to the bathroom.
First line, Ren walks up to Sam. Check it out, I made the world's first portable optimizing kinetic endosphere that's equipped with a biological acquisition lasso laser.
Wait, portable optimized kinetic endosphere. Poke.
It's also equipped with a biological acquisition lasso laser.
I like that a lot. That's hilarious.